Is there anything that's been shown to slow down the progress of Huntington's?
There I'm not so versed. It's a little bit like MS, another neurodegenerative disease, multiple sclerosis, where certain things exacerbate it, like inflammation of any kind. And those things can be almost random in some ways. Like some people who have MS will eat salad dressing with mustard in it, have a huge inflammatory response and have a flare-up, blurry vision, and get worse. And then it returns to
mustard.
Things like mustard.
Is mustard inflammatory?
Well, mustard isn't necessarily whole body inflammatory, but if it's spicy mustard, it binds to what's called the substance P receptor or the capsaicin receptor. We have receptors for anything that's kind of hot and spicy, and those are the same receptors that respond to hot liquid. Heat and spicy, obviously, very, very closely linked, and pain, all three of those very close. Whereas pain relief, very closely related to menthol and cool. Not just the taste, but the actual physical sensation of cool. So heat, pain, and inflammation kind of are cousins in this sense, and cool, menthol, and lack of inflammation are also cousins in terms of receptors, neural circuits, this kind of thing.
So can spicy food cause inflammation?
Sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But I think one of the best ways to think about inflammation, and here I definite hat tip to Lane Norton, who we both know, and Andy Galpin, who both really impressed upon me the fact that if we were to measure somebody's blood pressure, inflammatory markers, heart rate, and cortisol during a hard workout, and you didn't know they were doing a hard workout, I just handed you the data, and you're a medical doctor, you'd say, this person's dying.
Right.
So inflammation is robust during hard exercise. But I think what's so incredible about the human body is that the increase in blood pressure, inflammation, et cetera, is what triggers the adaptation so that blood pressure and inflammation, et cetera, are all much lower the other 23 hours of the day. And so there's something special about our system whereby, maybe if you had really hot peppers, like the most famous of these is the Carolina Reaper. You know about this? The Carolina Reaper.
I have some in my hot sauce. Yeah.
Someone ate...
Senor Lechuga made me this trio of hot sauces. There's Reapers in there.
Is that a person or a brand, Senor Lechuga?
It's a brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be awesome.
There's three hot sauces that we developed. One of them is my friends over at Half Face Blades. They developed this one that I really like, so he added that to my little 3 collection, and it's like... I think it's Reapers, sun-dried tomatoes, and some other stuff, and truffles. It's really good.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then he's got 2 other ones. One of them with habanero, but there it is. Those are the 3. What happened? Yeah. So if you like hot shit, I like it hot. This stuff is, like, legit. So one of them is heirloom tomatoes, winter truffles, and Reapers. That's the Half Face Blades cooperative. And then the other one is, I don't even know how to say that word, chulacale. How do you say that?
I'm not.
Chulacale.
I'm not good. I'm in Texas. I'll embarrass myself even more.
Get your cursor off that, please. Colima salt and ghost pepper. That one's rough. It's really delicious, though. And the other one's habanero, urfa chili, and paprika. And I love them all.
Yum.
But I like really hot.
Well,
like if you're like, boy, this Tabasco is rough, stay the fuck away from that stuff. Because the stuff I like is pretty rough.
Well, the Carolina Reaper in small amounts, I'm sure you can spice it just right. There are these pepper eating contests that people...
Oh, I've seen them. We've played them on the podcast.
So a few years back, somebody ate a Carolina Reaper and ended up with what's called thunderclap headache. Thunderclap headache is a massive inflammation of the meninges of the brain. So you got your brain, it's sitting in fluid, everyone knows that, and then there's some thick dura stuff around it. There's thick fibrous tissue. Like, well, you're a hunter, so when you want to take the brain out, people think, oh, you just kind of pop the brain out. You need a sharp razor or really sharp scissors to get through, or a sharp knife. The swelling of the meninges is what happened to this person. They got an unbelievable headache, and it's actually inflammation-induced brain damage. Now, that's only eating an extremely hot pepper in huge quantities.
How many peppers did this guy eat?
I don't know. I think
Just eating one of those things. Like, in the pepper sauce, my stuff, it's like the tiniest amount. It'll wreck you.
Yeah, thunderclap headache. We know a couple other things about spice. And here I want to make sure I give proper attribution. The Nobel Prize was given a couple of years ago to a guy down at the Scripps Institute in San Diego, Ardem Patapuchin, and David Julius at UCSF for the discovery of these receptors for pressure, cool, heat. And it's an amazing set of discoveries that just occurred really in the last 10 years. We know that all of those pathways go to areas of the brain that are involved in, of course, like behavior. Like if you touch something really hot or you taste something really hot, for most people, they're going to resist that. But also to the hypothalamus, which houses all these hormone control areas, et cetera. People who can tolerate stronger spice, men and women, we know it's correlated with higher levels of circulating testosterone. That, I think, is interesting. What we're really talking about is higher pain threshold. And you and I have talked before about if there's one clear effect of testosterone, it's that it makes effort feel good, that pain starts to have a little bit of a come hither kind of thing to it. It feels a little bit enticing when testosterone levels are elevated. When testosterone levels are lower, or if people have lower levels of testosterone, effort feels more overwhelming. How's that? And the other thing is that ingestion of spicy peppers resets your calibration for what's spicy. I think we know that too. And in a way that also adjusts people's pain threshold. So if people get better at eating hot peppers, they're better at dealing with all types of pain.